So I wanted to say hi to anybody who's listening. I don't know who is listening. I hope it's interesting for people on this third episode of the podcast. And we just started a few minutes ago by sharing how we are. And I want to share that I'm pretty tired because we're flying tonight to Thailand. And usually before flights, I'm nervous because I'm thinking I might forget something or that I have to check more things that I didn't check and, pack and physical things and, all the do the online checking and do the visa and do the stuff. And for Thailand, you also need a ticket to show that you're going out of Thailand. So I remember that I forgot to do it. And yeah, and the flight is not delayed. So my mind is like, and
Mm.
the worst thing is that if you don't sleep on the flight, it's like 2 days of non-sleep. So it's already
Mhm.
this fear of what's going to happen in this journey. But the interesting part is what you said, which is exactly what I wanted to talk to you about, is this feeling of home. Um, and I said, and I wrote to a friend of mine he's traveling in between Cyprus and Greece, and he also is like a digital nomad. And I thought about what is home, and to me, it's like a place that gives you like security and comfort and all the tools and all the nutrition, the mental nutrition, the emotional nutrition, the physical nutrition that you can go out into the world and you know live your life. So it's supposed to be your safe place, but also a place that can train you and give you all the support. And when you said that you're going home to Spain, it was like, oh, nice. He knows where his home is. So maybe you can also share how did you decide or when did you feel that Spain is your home and why did you leave your previous home?
Mm. Yeah, very nice. And like, I mean, very nice, or the thoughts. Because, for example, now I'm in Germany and I'm in the area where I grew up. So I'm not in the suburb where I grew up, but I'm in another city close to it. And for example, yesterday I was in the swimming pool with the friends, and it was very strange to go through, this the paths where I was when I was young, because I also remember how I feel sometimes the young life is a bit confused, no? Like the coming of age, when you say, and in some way I got some feelings back of this, and it's between nice and not so nice. So yeah, but because this was my home, but I think I never felt home here and like in this place. And I guess that's also why I was more open for a new home than maybe someone who felt at home, because I have many friends who still live here, and I guess it's their home. Even if they're like yesterday, I met also in a swimming pool a friend. He's from like his family is from Turkey. I don't know. I didn't ask him, but I am curious to know where he would feel his home. And yeah, maybe also, I mean, as you, also your family is from somewhere else and it's not from the place where you grew up. And the same is for me as my father. And I mean, the mother as well, but the mother from Germany, but the father even from Italy. So yeah, and maybe just the last, because this is also a bit at the moment making me like a bit, not sad, but maybe emotional, like with Milio, as because he's several times say he's homesick, he's missing Spain, and I feel maybe that I'm taking him everywhere to meet my friends and to meet this place and go to the other place. Sometimes I feel maybe it's a bit. a lot for him, to always change and meet new people and so on. So I don't know. Yes, at the moment also a bit like, yeah, it's a good point actually to
Yeah,
talk about.
Geffen also mentioned this, that she's missing Spain and she's missing her friends and she wants to go to Spain after she thinks that we're going to Thailand for 2 weeks and then we come back to Spain
Hmm.
because she doesn't have this sense of time. And we keep telling her
Hmm.
that we're not going back to Spain anytime soon. We're going to have this long trip and she still wants to go to Spain. And it gives me this little, oh, this
Hmm.
is like she knows where she wants to be. She knows where her home is.
Hmm.
And yeah, so you're right. Like in one sense, um, my grandparents they didn't they were not born in Israel. Both sides of the grandparents, but my parents did, and I felt like it's not my home anymore. Maybe 12 or 13 years ago, something started after my first visit to Thailand, and this is 6 months after I came back. I think I met Sivan, my wife. And something started there. Like you go to the most extreme place that you never visited in the most different culture, and like different, everything is different. The language, the culture, the people, the skin color, the views. It's like, and you feel maybe more at home in a new place that you never visited, more than you feel in a place that you lived for 20 something years. And then something changed. I don't know exactly what, but I realized that maybe this is not my place. So now, physically sitting also in my parents' house where I grew up, which is nice because you're also next to the place that you grew up, and I'm physically like I'm in technically in my brother's room, and I go to these places that didn't change so much, and it looks familiar, but I changed like a lot. So I'm not impressed anymore. I look at these places in the city and like I can't believe I used to like this place. You know? I used to be this person. I used to like this place. I used to think this place was nice. Like, and this is like, what the hell is going on? So it's like I changed so much, and going to like Thailand and other places just to have fun and remember like the days when I was free and a bachelor with no responsibilities. Uh, but actually, Geffen and sometimes Pelex is also like missing Spain. They're like giving us this the weights of responsibility and family and home. That for them this is their home, and I hope I will feel the same. Like I'm jealous maybe of them because they already know and I don't know yet, and I didn't know for 10 years, maybe more, and
Hmm.
searching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is nice because I was at this workshop, and the guy who held the workshop, he said something about this. He said we're all searching home, and for example, we go to workshops, to search the home, and kind of when we found the home, we don't need to go anymore to workshops because then we found it. And then he said that at some time he was searching so much his home that he went to many other places, and then his son said, "You're never home," you know. So
Yeah,
this reminds me a bit of this.
yeah, maybe I think it's good. It's always good to travel, to open up your mind and see new places and other cultures. It's always good. It doesn't matter if you have a home to come back to or if you don't. But underneath this traveling, for me and my wife at least, it is some kind of a search for what we need, how, like, where, what, how much, on what conditions,
Hmm.
because we are both looking for a sense of home. but we're now open to experience new things that will allow us to explain to ourselves what exactly we need more technically, like this place or another place in this country, that country, closer to the city, big, in the city, outside the city. Like we have all these needs that we cannot balance, and the kids are like reminding you that it's okay, you already found it.
Mm.
Just go back. Just go back and enjoy like you already found it on the first try. Why you think you didn't? Like, you know, it was under your nose the whole time. um but I want to say something else, but that maybe will lead to the what you wanted to also talk about, is that and maybe this is also for you, true for you and other people that we met in Spain, is that when the country that you live in or the country that you're born in feels like it's taking too much than what is giving, that you give more to the, like you work more hours, you pay more taxes, you the rent and the prices, everything, that you give your time to the machine, to the country, to the lifestyle, then I feel for me it's one of the biggest points where you feel it's not your home anymore. Because like I said, I want the home to be supportive of me, to allow me to go into life and experience life and change and evolve and create. But when it feels like I am giving too much to this place and I don't have enough time or energy or money to be who I want to be, then it's not a home anymore. It's a like an obstacle. It's a jail.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear this on several levels because, for example, like I guess it's like waves or not, or like in a relationship or anything. No, it's never that something like it should always be a like a, how you say this, where you put a weight and then you know how much weight is it, balance. I don't know.
Balanced. Yeah.
Yeah. So it should always be, this that you give something to the home. Maybe you have a garden, you make it nice. You cut the grass and so on. So you invest the energy, but also it comes something back maybe. And that would be already, when I think about it, so interesting how other people think, if they think it should be more that, it's like with religion maybe. I remember when I was like in Australia, and I had very moving times, and so I started to go to church, which I never did before. And it was very nice for me to Catholic church. Maybe because that was what I knew. And then I went to in Germany, and I went back to Germany and studied, and I went there to the church, and that was still very nice because the priest, he talked also about life and so on. But then I went into Italy to study there, and I went sometimes to the church, and there the priest was just it, or the whole thing was more, you need to give this to God and this to. And then I started to think, I'm not sure if this feels good for me, that I need all to give to give, as you say, maybe to give so much, and not, it's not about the person itself. And so then I started to think maybe that it's still a good source, but maybe the way how they do it, it's not the right thing, or it doesn't feel right for me. But so yeah, it would be interesting for me. Maybe someone else would think, no, no, you need to give all to your fatherland. You need it. It doesn't matter. So it would be interesting for me if we just think that we need all the comfort. It need to be good temperature. It need to provide good family. It need to have a good tax system. Like we're this a bit spoiled. Maybe we want to have it very perfect, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
I don't know. I don't know what is perfect. Like there is no perfect country, but I think because we live in this kind of capitalist world system, that some countries are easier to find the balance, like the work-life balance or the, most people don't need to do more than pay taxes. It's not like they have to go to the army or they have to defend the country or they have to do really physical, like most people in
Mm.
the normal, like the Western world and the developed countries, it's not like a struggle that they have to struggle every day to keep alive, to survive.
mm,
So it's about paying taxes
mm,
and then paying taxes and seeing your kids or not seeing your kids, or changing your life and being able to afford a certain lifestyle, which is, it sounds stupid, like it sounds shallow, because not too long ago you have Second World War and First World War, and COVID, and other places that have the hurricanes and earthquakes and revolutions, and people are actually fighting and to keep alive and to survive and for freedom and stuff. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how how much are you part of the system and how much are you an individual. And for me specifically, if I live in any expensive country, it doesn't matter which one, as long as it's an expensive, like Western expensive country in the city, I know that I have to work much more hours. And if I work much more hours, I don't see my kids, and I don't have a family life, and I don't have my hobbies, which is like, yeah, I don't, everybody has these problems. But what I'm saying is that I want to change my career. I want to change my life path. I want to become this healer, to do workshops, to write books, to give sessions. And I don't have enough time to do it, or, to practice it and to gain the experience and to have the clinic, if all I do all day is work to pay taxes and rent. And it sounds very superficial and stupid, but for me it's essential, because if I don't do it, then it's like I'm wasting my life. It's the essence of finding your purpose in life. And in some places it's easier to find your
no, but I
purpose.
remember this when I, yeah, absolutely. Like I remember when I came first to Berlin, there was already the change a bit, but I met a person who is in the city or council or something, and he said that Berlin was this. It's happening in many cities. So let's say a city is maybe not so developed. So many artists go there because, as you said, they prefer a life with low cost. So they maybe work 4 hours a week, 4 days a week, maybe in a cafe or something. I don't know, to gain money, and then the rest of the week they have the time for their art. And so many more people come, and this city becomes a bit vibrant and nice. And then comes more the money, because other people want to go there, and it's more expensive. And then this people, they go to a new place, where it's again more cheap, and it's always repeating. And I guess this is a bit also what the digital nomadism is a bit, I guess, no, that their place is a bit cheap, so the people go there, but then they have a higher expectance or higher, then rent
Expectations.
go up and expectations. Yeah, so but yeah, I don't know, I mean, it's absolutely yeah, I can understand it.
I mean, what do you find in Spain that is different for you, that is better for you? Not, we're not advertising for Spain, just from your
Mm.
experience.
s- um, I don't know how to say. So I think, I mean, let's say, I guess there's no perfect, see how you say perfection.
Perfection.
Like, the no, don't search for perfection, you will never reach it. I remember, I don't know, I think an artist said it. But so I guess this feels a bit. It's for anything in life, I guess. No, like it's for home, it's for relationship, it's for work. I don't know. Like if you have this thing of perfect. So and it's, yeah, I don't know, it's where to settle, where to settle and where to settle. This metaphor of you go around a lake, and you want to have a nice place to sit down and relax, and maybe, and then you go and they say, oh no, this place is not so good, and you go to the next, oh no, this place is too sunny, and this is too shady, and you go, and then at the end you go one time around the lake, but the sun went down and the day is over.
Yeah.
So that would be the metaphor for you know, like you try always to find a better spot, and then you
Yeah.
miss maybe the moment. So where to settle and where to say no, but I still think I feel there's something else. But maybe then again, it's about this, that maybe home is also a nice definition, that the home is a place where, as you say, you feel safe and you don't need to be a different person. Like, and this would be also home in yourself, because it would mean that you don't need to do something else than you do. You don't need to be someone else than you are. You know, it's just like, maybe it's even more, instead of home, it's more the womb of the mother. You know, everything is just okay and it's nice and it's this moment which is good, and there's nothing you need to achieve. So this, when I think about home now, I got more this feeling that I feel this, you know, that you can trust your intuition, and that you, I don't know, you're just more in the moment, in the presence. That would be for me more the home definition than maybe a place. And then still, just to answer the other question, like when I'm compared now to here, for example, here it's much greener, you know, because there's more rain, and so, and I really like it when I go to the forest here. It's so beautiful. But still, I feel that, for example, and I guess it's a strange thing, but the people create also a place. No, like maybe the place creates the people, and the people create the place, and so it's a. And I feel a bit more, uh, if you want to say at home, than in Spain, for like how the people live there, and also the other people who arrived as we, like this combination. This feels really nice. So, and I feel they're more. I feel maybe I can be more myself there than I can here, you know? But
Yeah.
it's a, and yesterday, just to finish, or the day before yesterday, I met a friend and we talked about money, and then he said it's interesting for him that when he grew up, it was very much like, you know, I don't know, I owe my friend €1.50, and you know, it was very precise. It was not. And then when he met other friends who were just inviting him for drink, it was so strange for him. And then I remember a bit this. I mean, I, I don't know how to say it. It's not too. This is bad or good. I just like, it just reflects a bit, I guess, the mentality. You know how people think about sharing and so on. And so I feel maybe, I don't know. I feel a bit in Mediterranean countries. I feel it's a bit different, and maybe it's matching more my nature than maybe other people who feel very good exactly here. So it's very precise everything, and yeah.
Yeah. I really agree with you. I really agree. Like this definition that you said, that you don't have to be anything else and you can be just totally okay with yourself. Maybe this is, now that I think about it in this type of like lens, in in this angle, then it feels like, yes, like if 10 years ago I started feeling that this is not a place that I can be myself, then this is maybe like a good way of understanding that you're not home. Because specifically for me, this place, this country, asking you to be aggressive and militarist and like very competitive, because the cost of living is always is going up, and very maybe conservative, because it's like a country that is not separated from its religion. So it's not like you can decide you are Catholic or Protestant or Muslim or Jewish or Buddhist, or it's not, you don't have this freedom here to change and to, like, one day you go to this church and another day you go to this church and you're and you check what you like. And there's no really, like, if you're born in a specific way here, then this is what is expected of you. There's no freedom of changing. And I think you're right. Like, this is what I feel. So what I like about Spain, maybe I would like it about any country, that I don't have to be anything, because nobody knows me and it's a new place. I don't have family. I don't have history. So I can just be who I want to be, and I'm free to be whatever I want, and nobody will tell me, oh, but you should be this or you should be that, because nobody cares. And I don't have to change myself for the dominant culture, because I'm not part of the culture. So nobody's asking me to be Spanish, because I will never be Spanish. And so, you know, it's not like they're expecting somebody to become more Spanish. They don't want to, and you will never be like we will never be. So it gives you this freedom of just being who you are, and that's fine. Like, and the second thing that you reminded me about when you speak about church is this issue of sacrifice, like sacrificing for the fatherland or the motherland, and Jesus sacrificed this, and Catholic are more about this, the sins, and the Jesus, and the Protestant are maybe more about like hard work and dedication and morals, but it all feels like, and of course in Islam, like they take a sacrifice to very extreme sometimes, when you have to sacrifice your own body to fight for God. And in Judaism, of course, there is this notion of battle, of like fighting to for God's name. It also exists, just in a different form. And I feel like that when you go to a place that doesn't ask you to sacrifice anything, so it's also like you can be who you are. That's the positive side, like the positive aspect of just be who you are, as long as you're not breaking the law and you're not a criminal. Do whatever you want and pay the taxes. That's fine. But also the negative side, like from the other side, is like you don't have to sacrifice anything for any ideology or for any religion or for any structure of economy. Like you can find your place. And I think this is a very important, like a balance between, like you said, what you give in order to have a society and culture and taxes and you know just normal human situation in a village or a city, and what they ask you to sacrifice in order for this to exist. So
Yeah, yeah.
no, some places in history, maybe 3,000 years ago, when the situation was bad in the city, they said, well, we have to sacrifice the kids, because if we sacrifice the kids, the god will be happy and the gods will give us rain, or they will help us win the war. So they will actually tell you, if you want to leave, if you don't want this empire to conquer you, or if you want to have food next year, you have to sacrifice your kid. And this would be practiced in a few places in the world. um, and for these type of people, that was normal, I guess, or at least the people in charge, the people who said what the other people should do. And I feel like today, in this world today, especially with digital nomadism and like and working remotely, and digital nomad visas, and people are not, I am specifically, but other people also, I think, are not willing to sacrifice too much now, or even nothing, because they know that there are other places will not ask them to sacrifice their kids.
Wow, but this is such a good point. I want to because so just going from this one to then the other. So if you say, for example, like let's say a bit in Berlin with Tinder or something, you have many options. You just swipe to the next person, and you find so much other dating uh, potential. I don't know. So you don't need to sacrifice. If the other person is maybe a bit complicated, you can just no, I just delete and go to the next. And that was funny because when I now was in Berlin, we were on a boat trip, and I was, I don't know, I had really a nice time, and some I wanted, for example, to exchange with the person how I felt about the nature and everything. It was so funny. And then I explained to him, and he looked at me a bit strange and just went away. And so that was so funny for me that like if you just dance and just so nice music, it's okay, because you're in the superficial. But if you go a bit deeper, it become everyone is a bit afraid. Oh, it can become a bit strange. Better to go away, because there's other people I can talk to, and so and that for me is just like it reflects something deeper that or in relationship or like in the relationship, let's say, or with the parents, with the family, like or with the community or something. There's always you need always to I don't know, like to hold a conflict maybe, or to do something which you don't really like or something. Otherwise, I guess I don't know, maybe I have a paradigm, and so maybe there's another answer to it. But I feel everything, no? Like even if you think about the monks, they clean the gardens or they work, to I mean, if you think also you need, to in order to find food, you need to invest time to pick up the berries if you're in the nature, or anytime, it's like always giving and taking. So there's always a kind of sacrifice which you need to do. Maybe it's more that if you think about a sacrifice, it makes it so heavy. Maybe it can more be like a it's normal, or it's a gift, or I don't know, so I'm just trying
Hmm.
to think that
So
nothing. Yeah.
for me specifically, like if you are an Israeli citizen and you stay in this country, then the sacrifice is very real because you have to go to the army. It's not a
Mm.
metaphor. Um, and for me, it's like, okay, I did that for myself. I don't want my kids to do it. And maybe, of course, they will have other sacrifices for their own life. If it's like working really hard or going to school someplace or starting a business or like just having the other difficulties or whatever the initiation of, becoming adult. Some cultures have this,
Mm.
I don't know, in America, in the United States, it's like, okay, you go to college and you have this transition between party, high school, you party, 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 and then you finish college and you kind of like, okay, I'm an adult now. I go to find a job and start my life. And in Israel, is going to the army. And in other countries, maybe there's a different thing that you'd have to do some national service or also maybe some university type of. I think every country has this type of and I know specifically for, let's say, Korea and Japan, these
Yeah.
Asian countries, sometimes it's very like the university is very, 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 very dramatic. Of
Hmm.
course, like if you don't get into a good university, if you don't get like it can affect your entire life and your social reputation sometimes. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, this topic of sacrifice is like, of course you have to put an effort and you have to put the time and the money and the sweat and the hours to become an adult and to do something. But then the question is, will it become a reality? Like maybe you become a doctor in the, I don't know, you became a doctor and then Soviet Union started to happen and then you said, well, they're not going to let me become a doctor because I belong to this political party. So if I want to become a doctor and I spend 10 years, 7 years plus practicum and becoming a doctor, but just because I don't belong to the right political party, they're not going to let me become a doctor, then this sacrifice is like lost. It's not worth it. And not, I mean, it's going to go to waste. So this, let's say this example, then you have to immigrate to Germany or the United States or Canada if you want to fulfill the fact that you became a doctor. Uh, I don't know. It's a weird example, but I think
No, no, but I say.
no. I'm thinking all the time like, what is, if you sacrifice something, is that you believe it's for a good cause. It will become, it's for a better future for yourself, for your kids, for the country, for something. But if the scale is, if the balance is like, no, you just have to keep on giving, 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 and we cannot promise you anything, then you see more people are leaving their countries because of this and going to Canada, going to United States, going to Australia, going to like strong countries economically where you can fulfill your abilities and your skills or your diploma. And
Mm.
other countries are like going more older and the young people are leaving. Like I think I read something about Poland, the 2 million young Poland, you know, after high school or college, they just leave the country because they have no jobs and no options. So it's where the balance
I guess
is changing.
I thought, yeah, I thought like what you're saying was, I got this feeling of partitionship. I don't know how is the English word. So as long it feels that you give something, but you have also a right to say, I that's okay, but maybe this part I would, if possible, change a bit. Can we discuss it? If this is maybe there, then again it's more balanced. If maybe that's also what I feel a bit sometimes in Germany, with some, I have a bit the feeling that some people don't feel anymore like taken from the political system, or understood, or I don't know. And so this creates a bit this, yeah, it's interesting. I guess that's a part of the home as well. So you can you can you can be yourself, you can also develop and change maybe, and not always stay the same, but also say, okay, yesterday, okay, I like this, but today I like it a bit different, and it's still fine. And that there's a way of partitionship, no, that you can say also, like, yeah, I guess that's the problem of big communities, like a country or something, that it's so difficult to, like, but I mean, even in small communities, if you think, maybe there is more this thing that you were always a butcher, or I don't know, making shoes, and so also your son will need to meet this, and so, and also, yeah, I mean, I see this in small villages as well, that the people are, like, maybe in a big city they're more free, but so they're missing a bit this coziness, and on the other hand, in small villages they have a lot of coziness, but maybe not the freedom. Yeah, so I don't know, I guess it's really, again, like, what always helps me in the last, when any problem comes into my mind, I always think, I think first, and then, no, no, it's about meditation. you know just to breathe, and then, yeah, true. And then I can solve things. Not, I don't solve them, but I can live better with them in some way. So, yeah, maybe it's again this, that's just, it's more about us than about the.
Yeah, I mean, for me, so I meditate on these things sometimes, but I like to put myself in the experience because this is the best teacher. Like, okay, so we live 3 years in Spain. How does it feel to live with other people from different countries in a small community that sometimes you have friction with other people that you don't want to see every day? Or sometimes there's a specific way of like everybody's going to football, everybody's playing paddle, and you don't want to, and so you are maybe outsider. Or your kids go
Mm,
to this school, and most of the other people go to that school, and it's where the community becomes very big and start to split like it's like to different groups. But yeah, this is why I think like thinking about it doesn't help because you just stay in one place and you just think. It's not changing anything.
mm,
Meditation is helping me to get less angry and less resentful about the past or the different people and doing
mm,
different things that I would think, no, I want to do it this way. Other people are doing it this way, and there's like a struggle of what is the right way. So meditation is more like, okay, I understand that this is also good, this is also good, but maybe not for me, and maybe there's a different combination. So, but then I like what I really like to do, and what I'm gonna do tonight is to experience like, okay, put yourself in a different reality and see how it feels. Really, like how do you react to different realities, and then hopefully it will just force my understanding and my feeling to realize like something new because you cannot escape the reality if you put yourself in a reality for a few months like a different country or different society group culture then your reality start to change and go inside and inside, and then something opens and clicks and change that is like, oh, now I understand this way of life, or now I feel more connected to this way of life, or oh, now I understand that it's my fantasy, it's just my thoughts, but in reality it doesn't work. So you need, like, I like to give something a few weeks, a few months, I don't know, depends on the situation, and put myself against the wall, and then I have no choice but to experience something. And out of this, maybe there's a realization of, you know what, I'm wrong. This is a big fantasy, but it's just a fantasy. It's not for me. Or you know what, I'm right. Was the best decision. And I don't know. I, this is like the
Yeah.
meditation experience. I really
Mm.
don't know.
Yeah, it's a good. I don't know why now I like this. I guess it's always a bit, this the idea that every conflict comes from a root, and so let's say I had this a lot maybe in relationships or something that I I didn't feel, I felt that I cannot be myself, and then I understood also in this you know moments that this is something, that if you think that being yourself is a danger because you will be neglected or like pushed away, then you have always this conflict of being yourself and not being yourself because you're afraid if you're, and when and I read it many times, but sometimes it takes so much time to really get deep in the body or wherever, that it's not like a there's a rule and I need to obey, it's an exchange, and it's about me that I can bring myself and so on. And more I feel this, more and more I feel that, yeah, I can accept something, for example, as also in Spain now, it's if I, it's not all perfect, or it's there's, as you say, everywhere there's a good and bad side, or this and this side. And so then, but if I think I can, I can bring something in. And for example, what you said was nice, that in the first year when I was in Spain, I more participated in the things which were already there. And in the second year, it felt a bit more that I bring more from me. For example, when we started our meditation at the beach or something like this was more that it felt, this is more. I like also the other things, also this, and so this is more. And I guess this is maybe also part of, let's say, the home, that that it's a two-sided dynamic. And then I feel I can also be more, like, lower a bit the barrier of the perfection search,
Mm.
because I say I don't know, I came there, it's okay, not everything's good, but I feel it's okay, so I can stay there and more try to make things maybe like in a dynamic process. Yeah.
But it sounds exactly like you said. If the home is a place that allows you to be yourself and allows you to change and accept these different things, it's exactly like, okay, you come for the first year, you do what everybody else is doing, and then the second year, it's okay that you change your mind and you don't want to do this, and now you want to start a band. And it's okay because we have people that can play in the band with you, and then we accept this change, and there's a possibility of making something new. This is, I think it's a very good example of what you said. Like, we know you, we like you, and we know, and now that you change, we like you again. Like, it doesn't
Mm.
matter that you don't do this anymore because you do a new thing, and then we accept this new change, and we will help you and we will join you because we also want to change, and we also want to do new stuff. And this is a very good example of, I think, of a community, and of a good home, because it doesn't
Mm.
tell you no. What do you think? Why would you do that? It's not, we don't do these things here.
Mm.
And of course, some families and some communities are more like that, are more closed and more traditional. And and of course, some big cities are too open, and then we have
Mhm.
people that are lonely and they don't find their groups, and they want to go
Yeah.
back to the village. And it's always like people going for the big cities to find a job and options, and then they are sick of it because they want to go back to the, and then they go back to the village, and then the kids grow up and it's boring in the village,
Mhm.
so the kids are moving to the city and the parents stay in the village, and then they go back.
Mhm.
But as
And
long
maybe
as you,
it's like the heart, no? Like it goes, it pumps the blood out and in and out and in. I don't know, like maybe.
yeah, I think I said that in the first one or the second one, that you need the heart to be in the center, but you also need the hand to get the food back to the mouth, so you need somebody going out and somebody
Mhm.
pumping the blood, and you need it changes. And I think for me it was a bit opposite. um I don't know if it's a, maybe it's a good segue to the next, maybe I think, yeah, I'm looking also at the time of the conversation,
Mhm.
and I think maybe this will be a good segue to the next episode when we talk about the healer website and all that. And this idea is that when I came to Spain, I was maybe too open, and I told you before, I was too open and too fast of changing, of thinking now I'm in a new place with the new people, they don't know anything about me, I can just tell them who I am and just, share
Mhm.
everything, be really open. And that now I'm doing this energy healing and shamanic workshops, and this is what. And from one side, it really worked because I really managed to do a lot of things I could not do before, and people just accepted it. That okay, he's doing a workshop. Let's try. Like they didn't ask me who I am, what I was, what is my experience. They just wanted to try something new, and it gave me the validation of I can actually do it because I'm just starting something. But on the other side, for some people, it was a bit like, oh, wait a minute, you're crazy hippie, crazy hippie weirdo. And once we get to know this side of you, then you're not so normal anymore. And then we step aside and we get some distance. Um, so this was for me, from my experience, part of the community that maybe was like the strategy from my side was not uh, smart enough to do it slowly and to do it more like soft with some people. And then
I want to say,
yeah.
okay, sorry, I need to say to this something then after, but yeah.
No, so then sometimes you get this feedback from the community that this is too much or this is too fast or we don't know you, so we don't trust you, and you cannot just come with everything you have to give us little bites until we trust you, which is also true for relationships. Sometimes in relationships you can't just be all oof, you have to be slowly, softly until you gain the trust and confidence of the other person. And then you say, you know what, I'm really into this crazy shit. But they accept you. Like, and sometimes when people are like really enthusiastic about something, they burn it, they burn it too fast. But yeah, it will
I
also
I
give
want to
us.
I want to say this just and then we can end it today.
Mhm.
But uh, when I was also in this conflict transformation workshop, um, I experienced something so beautiful that what I said before, feeling home means you're right as you are. So, and this is the feeling, there's no wrong. Because if you do this, there's a sense why you do it. Even if it feels wrong, it's right. And so the idea behind this was also that, let's say, the subconscious maybe does things to provoke something or to put something into moving or something, and then you maybe, let's say, you step a border, you cross a border of some person while you do it, and then you think, oh, I crossed the border. But then you understand later, it was good that I crossed the border because I started the process and so on. And if then there can be enough like strength is, it's not a maybe good word, but like patience, or I don't know, let's say something which hold the space, then this process can be going and can be at the end, you know
Yes.
this process which was started by the subconscious to do something, if there can be enough patience or something, or luck, or I don't know, whatever, it can go to the end. And so it's not that you were too fast or something, I feel more you were exactly right, and maybe it's just still the process,
Yeah. So
and it's not, because I really feel this, since, and this is for me this home thing, and trusting the intuition, because it means that you do something and it maybe seems wrong, but it's not wrong because it's part of the process, and it's just,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
don't know. I really feel it's wrong, so that's why I
no, no,
wanted to.
I believe this also, and I agree with you. And I don't say it in a way to judge my own actions. I'm just saying that with specific people with specific conditions, maybe if you're more aware, self-aware, you realize that with this person, you need to take it down a little bit, or it doesn't matter. Of course, it builds your character and it tests how much you're serious and how much you're devoted to your way. As long all these. Uh, J.K. Rowling that everybody said Harry Potter was a shitty book and nobody wanted to publish, and it tested how much you really wanted and changing and improving and going for I don't forgot how many 20 something 30 publications said no, and she didn't break and she finally managed to publish it. Or Charlie Chaplin, or I forget all these, or even Albert Einstein, I think was like he would try to publish a few things and first they said it's ridiculous. I don't know, maybe I'm getting it wrong, but of course, like getting it, like crossing the border and annoying people or getting some enemies. If it's like in the university, you have different schools of thoughts and they're trying to criticize your papers and stuff. It's building the strong argument, it's building the character, it's building the path of change, it's building the synthesis of two ideas. Of course, it's part of the bigger process, and it's not bad thing. It's just consequence. And